Hey, bud. Okay, I'm live. I don't have anything playing, not using any streaming software. I'm live. And I'm not lagging. So I know nobody's in here, but I will start talking anyway. So, the mom in the previous that I was talking about in the previous, she got wrapped up in the autism mommy blog sphere or community or whatever.
Hi, Mom.
Can mommy have one? One of mommy's?
Bye.
Thank you. And it felt comfortable because she thought that's what she was supposed to do.
What's that?
It's mine. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And she got caught up thinking,
Yeah.
hi, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello. I think this is me.
That is you.
Yeah.
This is my 9-year-old.
Hello, guys. Where are you?
Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. It's on back to this.
So, but yeah, so she got caught up in the whole autism mommy thing. And I get it because it's very enticing to suddenly have all these people around you who say they have this knowledge that you don't have. because your child's experience is not an experience that you had, and you want somebody to be there to guide you. So you lean on the shoulders of other parents who've been there, or so that's what you think. And this lipstick is not. Kind of bleeds.
Oh.
So you kind of get caught up. The problem is that those groups of moms don't, as much as they want to say they're advocating for their kids, they're not. They're not advocating for their kids' existence as it is. They're advocating for their existence as they wish it was. Sorry. Please don't hit the mic.
That's around there.
So what you get is you get parents who,
what's up?
when they have. Okay, honey, are you excited?
Yes.
You are excited, huh?
What's that?
That's the window.
What's that?
That's the ceiling.
What's that?
I don't know. What is it?
Is that a rug?
It is a rug.
What's that?
I don't know. What is it?
It's full. What's that?
Okay, mommy's going to talk for a few minutes,
Wall.
okay? Okay. So what you get is parents who don't know how to do research on their own. They don't know how to. Can you get her out of the dryer, please? They don't know how to do research on their own. They don't know what sources to trust. And so the issue is, it's not so much that they are malicious. It's that they've been told that their child is inherently broken. And that there has to be a way to turn that child into a fully functional adult. And I fell into that trap at first. Uh-oh. Careful. So I fell into that trap, and I started questioning whether or not, certain treatments that I had given him, like such as vaccines, were what caused this. Or maybe it was something that I had done while I was pregnant. Or maybe it was because I have bipolar disorder and, chose to get pregnant. And, I questioned a lot of my actions for a really, really long time. And I did so because all of the common knowledge that was going on at the time told me that my son was autistic because I did something wrong. And that's still a lot of the stuff that parents are getting in some of these parenting groups. I am grateful for the opportunity that I had, that there are places like Coursera that occasionally will offer free courses on things such as vaccines, different neurodivergent. It's not so much like in-depth courses, but courses introducing you to different neurodivergent tendencies. And so I was able to take those classes and learn more and get my information from valid sources like scientists that do the research and autistic people, like autistic adults, because it's more important that we get lived experience from people who live it than the people that take care of them. Because the people that take care of them, as much as I appreciate what they go through, you get fatigue, you get exhausted, and that breeds resentment. And that's not healthy for you or the person that you're taking care of. And when the world around you is telling you that you did this and that you broke your child, the resentment grows, and that creates an environment that breeds abuse and neglect, and sometimes all the way up to murder. And we've seen that over and over in the community, where people will want to absolve a parent for like extreme abuse of their child because of how hard it is. And it's like, no, I don't care how little support you have with your child. That does not at all excuse the abuse that you put your child through. And a lot of times, exactly, there's so much misinformation out there that sounds legit, and it does resonate with people. It's absolutely bonkers. And there's these people out there that try to convince you that these extremely abusive treatments are how to cure your child. Some of the more extreme, hi buddy, some of the more extreme treatments like bleach enemas, feeding your children bleach. He is in love with Pikachu. Look, Galen, she said, such a cool Pikachu hat.
Yeah.
Okay, that is your Pikachu hat. There's so many of these treatments that people are told by, like they're told to go away from medical doctors and go to naturopaths, because they're not attached to big pharma, and they're okay. They're going to steer you right, and they're going to cure your child, when really there are people who are like, they're still trying to sell you stuff. Like, naturopaths don't work for free. They're not giving you these treatments. You're paying for the treatments. They're not giving you the supplements. You're paying more for the supplements that you would ever pay for any medication that your child might need, if they need medication at all. So it's like they're trying to tell you that, oh, big pharma's out to get you. And while I'm not 100% a huge fan of the pharmaceutical industry, they're at least upfront with the fact that the stuff costs money. They have to do research. They, this, that, and the other thing. They're not trying to convince you that it's all natural, and it's not going to change any of your body physiology, and it's not going to do anything to your hormones, and it's going to make you feel more natural. It's just like water is a dangerous chemical in a large enough dose. Everything is a chemical. So you have to come at it from a scientific standpoint. And I am so grateful that I had all these extra courses that I could take to learn more about, first of all, what people were telling me was the cause of my child's autism, which was utter crap. And then second, more about my child. Because at the time, when he was first diagnosed, he was 4. And as you can see, when he was just on here, he's not very verbal. He is now. He does speak now, but I don't force him to converse with me like my other kids. He has his own ways of talking. Most of that is echolalia, and echolalia is an absolutely 100% valid form of communication. Some people say, it's just letting your kid, regurgitate what they hear. They're not really communicating. They're communicating. Everything your child does that expresses something is a form of communication, whether it's a grunt, a scream, echolalia, or words. It's communication. And that's something that you don't hear about from these mom groups. You just hear that, my child had a meltdown and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm so worried that they're going to do this, that, and the other thing that's so violent. And they're going to hurt me. Are they going to hurt their siblings? Are they going to hurt themselves? Are they going to hurt, my property? And these things are the bigger concerns rather than, why is my child acting this way? What is causing this pain? What can I do to alleviate that pain? And I learned early on that forcing him into speaking wasn't going to work. So I allowed him to communicate in other ways. He likes to build, so I would allow him to build. Go get a diaper. Sorry. But I would read to him all the time, because as much as people would tell me that, he'll never learn to read, it didn't matter. I wanted him to know that I would read to him. Because to me, reading to your kid is a form of bonding. It's not just to teach them how to read or teach them how to hear words. It's literally a hug with your words. So I read to him. Every day. And I learned that he liked Dr. Seuss the best. And he loves Dr. Seuss. And he's still, to this day, we have an entire shelf of all Dr. Seuss books. But Dr. Seuss is how he learned to talk. He learned to talk with Green Eggs and Ham, a book that I have probably read 20,000 times. And the first time he used any speech to tell me anything was to tell him, I do not like this Sam I am. And it was because he didn't want to eat what I'd made for dinner. And it was important that I acknowledge, ow, 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 honey. Ow, ow, ow. It was important that I acknowledge that I understood what he was saying. It was important that I acknowledge that he was saying. And it makes me cry still, because it was so much more important that he felt. I remember it because it was spaghetti. And everybody else loves spaghetti. Everybody loves my spaghetti sauce. Everybody's always told me that my spaghetti sauce is amazing. And he hates it. And he hates it with a passion. And every time I make it, do not like this Sam I am. And okay, You don't have to. We've got chicken nuggets. We've got peanut butter sandwich. We've got hot dogs. You can have any of those that you want, but the rest of us are going to eat spaghetti. And that's how we do it. Like every time I'll make him, his, usually lately it's been peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But it's important that he has access to other forms of communication. One of the other forms that he has is called a pod book. It's like, if you know anything about autistic kids, one of the systems that they use is called a PECS book, PECS. I don't remember what PECS stands for, but they use these little clip art pictures, mostly from a program called Boardmaker. It's free online. I recommend these to literally any parent. Every kid and every parent can benefit from using these pieces of clip art for their kids. It's a great way to show visual communication because visual communication is so important. But the pod book is more advanced than PECS because it's got so many more advanced things. And it's also important because it prioritizes how the person feels, the person communicating with the book. The largest section is about not just his emotional feelings, but his physical feelings, because he needs to be able to communicate if he's hurt, if he's sick. And I mean, we've gotten some things down to like an inner family code. Like if he's got like gastrointestinal issues, he'll tell me that his belly is broken. And that's how I know to check his fever. Usually I check his breath because he's still at the age where he gets what I call sick baby breath, where it's that sweet breath that kids get, like almost a ketosis that they get right before they're going to have gastrointestinal issues. So I check all the signs that I can to try to prepare myself and him for now. This stuff sounds like it's really intensive. It's not. It's just a little bit of effort to parent your child that needs to be parented in a different way than, say, a neurotypical child. He's not my only autistic child. I have 2 autistic children. And the worst question that I can get is, where on the spectrum is your child? Because I don't know how to answer that, because it's a spectrum. Like, the people asking that question don't know the meaning of the word spectrum. Because they both have cognitive delays in different areas. They both have cognitive, places that they excel in cognitive actions. They have language things where they both have deficits and, things they excel in. So saying, you can't like pinpoint where on a rainbow spectrum they are. But I saw this chart on Facebook, and that's like the downside of doing this kind of a live, is I can't really show you. It's like one of those circular graphs that you see in like graphic design, where it's literally the entire spectrum, just like, in a kind of like a pinwheel. And it shows like different aspects of what they look for in autism to give a diagnosis. And that includes speech. That includes like impairment. That includes, physical things as well. Physical, cognitive, speech, like the entire thing. And like it's so much easier to say, my kids can do this. And it's not really, my kids are here on the spectrum. It's like, my 7-year-old makes a star pattern on the spectrum. My 9-year-old makes a hexagon, like an offset hexagon. They're both amazing kids. So that's really how I've been using it. I was very verbal in reading at the age of 4, but I'm 26 now and struggle with a lot of common sense stuff. And that's another thing that I have a problem with is people using this thing common sense. Because what one person calls common sense, another person is just like, that's not common sense. What I try to instill with my kids is critical thinking. And that's so much more important because it may not be common sense to everyone, but I want them to be able to question things and think around it if it becomes... Hang on. What just happened? Everyone is giggling, so everyone must be safe. That sounds terrible. But it's summer break. And I hear a lot of noises like that. Nobody's crying. But hang on. I would like you to stop jumping on my bed, though. Thank you. So, hi. We'll read it in a little while, okay? Can you go watch Adventure Time with your brothers? No, thank you. So, maybe Ashley will read it. Ask Ashley. So, I'm probably going to have to cut this short because she's decided that she's found books. And maybe I'll have to do another live on this. Honey, in a minute. I'm going to look. See, there's mommy.
A mom?
Yeah, that's a mom. No, you can't have Mountain Dew. No, you're not. You're not going to stick your finger in it. So, don't stick your finger in my drink. That's yucky. So, but back to where I was at the beginning. The way other parents were treating autism in general distressed me. And I'm not autistic. Well, I've never been diagnosed. I don't know if I am. I haven't sought out testing. But I know that I've been treated differently and I don't like being treated differently. So why would I treat my kids like they were others when they're my kids? So that kind of ostracized me from a lot of parenting groups. And then I started reading more about the history of autism. And I'm not going to touch on that today because we're already at 22 minutes and this is my second live stream. And as you said, Peridot, it's probably book time. She's been shortly deterred, but I may come back on tomorrow or even later this week. But it was important to me to learn different mechanisms on how to work with my kids. And some of the things that I did that were probably short-term bad choices, but now in the long term, I don't regret them. But I'll touch on them probably tomorrow or another day. But I'm really glad, Peridot, I'm really glad that you stuck with me and you came back for this second live stream. I hope to see you again soon. It's apparently book time, so I will see you later, and I hope you have a great day. Yep. Okay.